Thanks for joining us here today. My name is Kevin Henderson. I'm the Director of Infrastructure and Sustainable Development for the City of Dawson Creek. And with me today is Reg White, our watershed steward. We wanted to provide you with a brief overview of our Sure Water information campaign, which includes why we need to start making plans now to ensure our future water supply and to better protect our community against drought, what work has been done to date, what options are being discussed, and how you can learn more about these options, and best of all, give us your feedback or even suggest other alternatives to explore. Water has been a hot topic in our community for many years, and more recently in 2013, it was the #1 strategic priority for Mayor and Council. Much work has been done to date to ensure the reliable source of clean, safe drinking water. But as our community continues to grow, we need to continually make plans for the future. Water systems are a big investment costing millions of dollars and take years to plan, design, and build. That's why we need to start the conversation now. Our goal is to ensure a reliable source of good quality water for all uses now and into the future. Invest in an effective, practical, and affordable water supply system, and protect against the potential impacts of drought, which is expected to increase over the coming years as scientists predict changing weather patterns and drier summers. Already, drought conditions in recent years have resulted in stricter water conservation measures. So first, here's Reg to provide a little background on our current source.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. So let's talk about the City of Dawson Creek's water supply area. It's situated within the upper portion of the Kiskatnaw River within northeastern BC. It covers an area of approximately 2,800 square kilometers. This area, in fact, is comparable to the lower mainland in Vancouver. The watershed is broken up into 3 key subbasins: the East Kiskatnaw River, the West Kiskatnaw River, and the Middle Kiskatnaw River. At its headwaters, we have Bear Hole Lake, which is a large protected area. From there, water flows through the East Kiskatnaw River system and eventually reaches the Aris Weir, approximately 170 kilometers downstream, from where we take water from the river through a series of stepped reservoirs and into the water treatment plant, which is a level 4 treatment to deal with any issues related to bacteria and parasites. Once the water is treated and proceeds through the distribution system of the city, it ends up at the lagoon system near the airport, where it is further treated. And a unique initiative which has been brought on over the past several years is development of a wastewater reclamation facility, a world-class facility to promote the use of wastewater for industrial purposes and other eventual public use purposes. Once the water is treated through that system, it will eventually be discharged back to the Pouce-Coupe River and into the Peace River. The City of Dawson Creek has really taken on an interesting approach to water management through an integrated approach. The Integrated Watershed Stewardship Program is an integrated water approach that brings in source water, treatment, distribution, waste treatment, and reclamation. When we look at the watershed component itself, we're emphasizing 3 components: community outreach, research and monitoring, planning and policy. This is done to ensure that the public is fully aware of how it can reduce its water footprint through conservation, engaging various industry and government partners in researching how water and land is being managed within the watershed, and also looking at broader policy and government regulations to ensure that we are protecting drinking water. So we have 3 key goals within the Watershed Stewardship Program: maintaining a safe and secure drinking water supply, considering all multiple values within the watershed, and managing risks to water quality and flows. The watershed is not unique in that it has a lot of variable flows within its system and is a highly turbid system due to the erodible soils on its banks. Nevertheless, we continue to manage these issues and realizing the role of groundwater is growing in importance. Climate change and mountain pine beetle are also within the watershed, again, not unique to the Kiskatinaw River. So we deal with turbidity issues through improved land management practices, and there are plenty of safeguards to ensure that any wells or waste developments within the watershed are carefully managed, protected, and monitored. So we continue to have a role in overseeing the monitoring of that activity. As we've seen over the years, gas industry has had a significant demand for water, but in fact, reports are showing that it represents a very tiny fraction of use of the available basin flows, and in fact is decreasing over the years. So we continue to look at all water users and land management in an integrated approach to ensure that we understand the limits of our water resources and how we can continue to manage for improved water supply and quality. So going forward into the future, then we want to build on our efforts to maintain water conservation and source water protection, put more effort into classifying and protecting groundwater or aquifers supplies, studying and protecting wetlands, which we know are really important for storage during periods of drought. Establishing a formal watershed advisory body will help us to coordinate our efforts among water resource users and various industry partners. Through designation of the watershed, we believe we can have a greater focus on implementing our source water protection plan. And finally, during periods of low flow or drought, as we've seen in 2011, the Bear Hole Lake water supply is proving to be a very reliable source, which we will need to continue to manage and ensure its sustained use. So Kevin, that's an overview of the watershed program. Let's hear more about how we can continue to maintain our water supply through various options.
Thank you, Reg. So here's a snapshot of where our water goes. We use about half of what we are permitted to draw from the Kiskatinaw. Of the amount used for industrial purposes, which you'll see there in red, about a third is used for fracking, and that's been on a decline over the past few years. We may see even more decline as industry looks for new sources such as recycled water. Now let's walk through the 4 supply options being looked at, some to ensure the future of our water supply, some to help protect us from the impact of drought. These options have been studied over the years, with the majority of efforts focused on increasing our storage capacity by building more water reservoirs. However, more recently, a group of local citizens proposed a new water pipeline to Council, and Council felt the idea had some merit. And as a result, it was decided with the group that this information would be shared with the community in a public forum that looked at all the options. Before making decisions regarding these costly enhancements, Council and staff want to know how water users feel about the existing options and other alternatives. Hence our campaign today to provide you with the information about these options and find out your preference. Please note that no action would be undertaken without community approval through a referendum or alternative approval process. So here are the 4 options. Upgrading the existing water supply system is needed. Building a new raw water reservoir, tapping into groundwater aquifers, building a new water pipeline. We are also open to other ideas and options worth exploring. Now let's have a closer look at each one of these. For the purposes of the comparison, the next few slides provide a little more information about each one of these options. While we continue to make ongoing upgrades to our water system, the plan here is really to just keep doing that. Our existing system would meet the demands for a population of approximately 16,000 people with industrial usage such as fracking, or 20,000 without fracking use. And just to keep that in comparison, our existing population is approximately 12,000 people. This will not reduce the impact of drought beyond what we have today, and the estimated investment is approximately $16 million over the next 20 years. The operational costs for this would be relatively low moving forward. So the question with this option is, do we continue to upgrade the existing system knowing that water restrictions might still be needed in times of drought? Increasing our water storage by building a new water reservoirs have been our focus over the past years and has been recommended in various studies about water as far back as the 1960s. The land purchase was approved by a previous council, and land was purchased in 2007, and a design began in 2012. But given more recent interest in a pipeline, it was felt that it was important to engage the community on which options would be better worth investigating. So the question is, do we invest $22 million in a new water reservoir that will reduce the impacts of drought, but may not meet the future needs of the community? Next option is about exploring what's below us in the ground in natural water storage areas called aquifers. And while the potential may be great, it really is unresearched, undiscovered option that hasn't been widely used or studied locally. So the question here is, do we need to continue to research the possibility of using nearby aquifers to boost our current water supply in times of drought? The last option is to build a new pipeline from a different water source. This was presented to Council last fall. It includes the possibility of a pipeline from the Murray River to the Aris Reservoir or from the Peace River to the Trail Reservoir. Based on the information provided from the local group, this would address future water quality and supply until our population reaches about 26,000 people with industrial use or upwards of 32,000 without the industrial use. This option would greatly reduce the water restrictions during drought, and the estimated cost for this project is $57 million, which does not include any operational expenses. It should be noted that back in 2003, the city did review this option, but at the time it was decided that it was too costly to pursue. So the question is, with this option, do we invest $57 million in a new water source that would minimize the impacts of drought and meet water demands for all uses into the future? Or do you have any other ideas we should consider, or a combination of ideas? We're happy to hear about that and would love to hear your comments on any options that you feel that might be worth exploring. Now, for any of these options, it's important to note that first, detailed costing would be needed to get a picture of the full costs associated with these options. And second, that public approval would be needed for borrowing the funds necessary to go through with these major options. This would happen by way of an alternative approval process or referendum. That's why we wanted to get the conversation started, so we could help our community learn more about the challenges we face in ensuring the future of our water source. These are important community decisions, and we need your help to focus on what is important to you and our collective future. So there are several ways you can learn more and give us your feedback. First, read our newsletter. It is being delivered by Canada Post to all homes in the city at the beginning of April. And if you didn't get one, you can pick one up at City Hall, the pool, or the library. The newsletter also includes a feedback form that you can complete and return to the specially marked boxes at the city, library, or pool, or you can mail it in or fax it back to us. You can also visit our Water Forum page on our website. You'll find a copy of the newsletter, our frequently asked questions, as well as a link so you can fill in the feedback form online. You can sign up for our project update emails or send an email with your question or comment. Plus, you'll find background reports, previous studies, and information about our Community Water Security Forum. Please plan to attend our open house and public meeting on April 24th at the Encana Event Center. There will be an open house from 4 till 9 p.m. where you can view displays, talk to staff, enjoy refreshments and conversation with friends, neighbors, and other community members. We are also holding a presentation similar to this one at 5 and again at 7 with time for questions and answers to follow. Plus, Plus, you can always stop by our booth at the Kiwanis Trade Show on the weekend of April 20th. Thank you for your time today. Please be sure to read our newsletter for more information or attend our water forum, and be sure to fill in our feedback form. Thank you very much, and you have a great day.